Hey guys, it's Melissa here from melissaoatman.com. Welcome to Awaken Your Inner Awesomeness, a daily podcast devoted to spirituality and self-help. If you're new, I want to welcome you. If you're returning, welcome back. So today I wanted to talk to you about you are special. There was no one else on this earth created to be just like you. Even if you're a twin, and believe me, I know about this because I do have a twin sister. Even if you're a twin, you are still uniquely you. And you were sent here for a mission, and you were here to provide your own unique gifts to the world. So many times I see people who they compare themselves to others. And they feel like, I'm not where that person is. I need to be this far. I need to do this. Or they feel like they have to copy or emulate that person in order to be successful. And that just is so wrong. It couldn't be further from the truth. The truth is that you were sent here for your own unique purpose, whatever that is. Whether you're here and you're a nurse, you're a teacher, you're an office worker, you're a librarian, you're a police officer, whatever it is that you came here to do, you have come here to use your own unique set of skills and to bring your own unique light to the world. But for some reason, we've been conditioned to believe that we have to be in the same spot as someone else, or that we have to look to others to do what we want to do. And I think it's interesting because as I'm running my own business, I had no clue how to do anything when I started. I had never opened a business. I've never done a podcast. I was a teacher. So when I opened my business, I wanted to get into social media marketing, and I didn't have any idea how to do it. And so I took a class, and they said, well, go look around you and see what everyone else is doing. And I thought, okay, I can do that. And I did my first Facebook Live, and I will never forget this. I did the live, and the very first time I did the live, the teacher of this, I took like a little business course or whatever for social media marketing. And she said, oh, you did a great job being brave enough to do your live, but here's everything you did wrong. Like, go watch other people and do exactly what they do. And I remember being so highly insulted by that. I mean, I know there's always room for improvement. Trust me, I'm not the type of person that thinks, oh yeah, I'm perfect. I nailed it. I did it perfectly. I didn't think that at all. But what I thought was, okay, I want to offer something that's unique. That's my own personality. That's who I am. And I don't want to be copying other people, doing what other people are doing, because while they may be successful, it doesn't necessarily ensure that I'm going to be successful, because what people are attracted to isn't the formula. It's not like people go, oh, well, it's because she opened with this, and then she did this, and then she did this. That isn't necessarily what people are attracted to. People come to you because they connect with you and with your own personality and with your energy. And I'm never going to be that perfectly polished person because I'm a single mom who works 2 jobs. I have kids. And you'll hear things in the background of this podcast from time to time because I can't not help that. No matter where I go to record, even when I try to find places that are completely quiet and whatever, still somehow something happens in the background and you'll hear a noise. And I honestly feel like that is the universe telling me to get over myself. And it's a test as to whether or not I am triggered, by people who leave nasty comments or whatever, who would say, oh, well, you had barking in the background, or you had this in the background. And I did try to, make it better, but I'm never going to have a a podcast that's completely sound free from the background unless I have a professional studio, and I don't right now. So to me, that is just the universe going, look, get over yourself. Like, just show up. Don't care about the naysayers. And it's true. There will be people who criticize you because people are unhappy with their lives. And what do they do to make themselves feel better? They critique others. People who leave nasty comments about podcasts have never even tried to do a podcast. But yet here they are like, you know what? You could do this better. And they're the best critic out there to tell you how you should do your work. And the same thing even happens in teaching. You get parents who aren't teachers, have never been teachers, or even like administrators sometimes who really have never been teachers who come in and will try to tell you how to do things. That's just the way it is. And my take on it is, I know what I'm doing. I know that I am trying. I know that I put my heart and soul into this and that I love it and that I'm trying to help people and I'm doing that. And so who cares what anyone else thinks? And that has served me very well, because for the one or two people who may have taken the energy to write something bad, I have way more positive, which tells me that obviously I'm connecting with people, which is all I wanted to do. So whenever I went to do the Facebook Live, same thing, most of the time it goes off without a hitch. Last night when I was doing mine, Nala barked her head off, but we just laugh about it and go on, right? Like, oh, there's Nala. She's just stopping in to say hi. And the point is that, yes, I could go to everyone else who does a Facebook Live, and I do watch other people who do their lives, and I respect other people who do lives and how they do their own live. But I'm not going to say that I have to go and do mine exactly like the person that I just saw who's in the same business. Why would I do that? Yeah, it would be great if I could incorporate music at the beginning and do all this digital stuff. That would be awesome. I'm not there yet. Maybe someday. So I don't have to spend today worried that I'm not as good as so-and-so, or I don't have this, or I don't have that. I don't do that. I don't feel like I have to compare myself. And the point of all of this is for me to tell you that you don't have to compare yourself either. You don't have to feel like you have to be in any certain spot in order for you to be successful or for you to be shining your light just as brightly as anyone else. We all do little things each and every day to help this world. And I had this card last night, and it was a beautiful message. And it's true for everyone. You do not have to do big or major things to make a huge difference. Sometimes simply meditating and praying and making yourself a better person is actually impacting the world in a major way. Because when you are working on yourself and you're shining your own light, you're being a beacon of light for others who then see you and go, oh my gosh, look how great her life is. It's like she seems so happy, or he seems like he's got it all together, and I want to get my life together too. So you are being a beacon of light and a shining example for people just by working on yourself and improving your own life. It's crazy and it's amazing, and I'm not even lying when I tell you this. Whenever I went through my spiritual boot camp course, I started shifting myself just in little ways. It was really, really interesting. And when I did that, people around me started shifting too. My mom said, oh my gosh, you're so positive. What are you doing? And I would try to help her with things too. And my sister too. My sister's like, what are you doing? That, she wanted to know everything about it. So those around us can shift too. So you don't have to worry about, am I doing enough or am I showing up enough compared to this person? I mean, we do want to show up, obviously, fully and powerfully, but we don't have to compare ourselves to anyone else. We don't have to compare ourselves to Karen next door and, be like, oh, I'm not right on par with Karen. Karen's way ahead of me. No, it does not matter. Okay, that's not what it's about. It's about working on yourself. And, I cannot even make this stuff up, but as I'm sitting here trying to record in a quiet room, in the next door buildings, people are dropping things and like drilling things, and I'm trying to keep you from hearing all of this. But what did I just talk about? I just said, I'm not going to be triggered by those things and by people, and you shouldn't be either. If someone says that you need to be somewhere else in your life, that is no one else's business but your own. We have to do things when we're ready to do things. And when you're ready to take that leap and you're ready to step forward, and it can be, like I said, it doesn't have to be a huge dramatic thing or a huge shift. It can be something as simple and as small as deciding that you're going to do a meditation before you go to bed, or you're going to do a meditation when you get up, or you're going to do an I am affirmation, or you're going to tap when you start feeling crappy. All of those things are helping the collective, guys. They really are. And all of those things are things that are going to make you feel better. And that's really the point. The whole point of this whole thing called life is that we are supposed to be living our best lives possible, which means that we're supposed to be happy and fulfilled. And if we're not feeling happy and fulfilled, it's our job to change that. And yes, outside circumstances do come in and affect us. But it's about being so confident in who we are that we don't let other people push us around and push us out of our comfort zone, out of our happiness. I used to let other people define my happiness, and I don't do that anymore. If someone else doesn't like me or isn't happy with me and they want to come in and try to make me feel bad, the thing is that I'm giving them the power to do that. But I can simply say, no, I'm not allowing you to come in and make me feel bad. I'm not allowing you to drain me of my energy or of my emotions. I absolutely have every power to do that. Because here's the thing. Someone can't make you feel bad if you don't let them. You can totally choose to disengage and to place your focus elsewhere. And it's not like it's avoiding it. It's just saying that I'm not giving this attention because I don't want this to grow in my life. I'm not giving this bad feeling attention because I don't want to focus on that and choose for that to be the thing that defines my whole day. I remember my ex-husband would call me on my way to work and pick a fight with me. And he did this on purpose. He would call me just to make my day miserable. And for a long time, I let him do that. I would absolutely, I'd fall into the trap. Because it was a trap. It was absolutely manipulation. It was emotional manipulation. And he would start a fight on purpose because he didn't really care. He just liked to fight. He loved it. I hated it. I hate conflict, and I usually try to avoid conflict, which is a coping mechanism. If you have ever been in trauma, if you've grown up in trauma, that is a coping mechanism for you to avoid conflict. And you might be the peacekeeper in your family. I know I was. And that was a coping mechanism was for me to escape from conflict and drama. I just didn't want any of it. And that's where my people-pleasing ways came, because I was often, as a young kid, around or in the middle when my parents fought. Even though I was really little, I do still remember it. I remember feeling like I had to somehow go and make it better or, help them get along. It was not my job. As a 3-year-old, that's ridiculous, right? But that's what a child does. A child's like, this is my responsibility. I have something to do with this. I need to help with this. And so you can imagine the trauma, really, of that. And you come up with a trauma response, which is to avoid conflict, which is what I would do. And my ex knew that. So he would purposefully push my buttons and try to start fights because it was fun for him. It was a lot of fun. It was not fun for me. I hated it. And it would ruin my entire day because I let it. And because I engaged in the fight with him in the first place. One thing that I definitely learned was that I don't even have to engage in it. All I have to do is stop answering the phone. And he was the type of person that would call back 50 times. I'm not kidding you. But that is harassment. And I remember, finally my parents were like, you got to do something. So I went to the police station and they were like, yeah, that's harassment. He can't do that to you. So they issued him a cease and desist letter and he stopped doing that. Once you take yourself out of the game, it's no fun for the person anymore. But it's being aware that you're falling into this trap of this person's manipulating me, they're doing this, they're doing that, and taking yourself out so that you are not available to be a part of that anymore. And that's super important, I think, for your emotional health and your emotional well-being, because it'll drive you crazy. And in the same way, if someone is trying to tell you how to live your life, do the same thing. Even if it's a parent, all you simply have to say is, I am not discussing this with you. It is not your business. It's mine. And when you want to talk to me about something else, I'm happy. I'll be here for you. But no, I'm not allowing you to make me feel bad about my life choices. It's my life. And that'll be a tough thing to say, but it is so important that you set that healthy boundary, because otherwise you're going to have people who will give you unsolicited advice for the rest of your life. And it just upsets you and makes you angry, and you're like rolling your eyes as they're saying it to you, thinking, I didn't ask you, I don't care what you have to say, so please stop butting in. But they won't until you set that boundary and say, stop. Like, until you stop, I'm not talking to you. And you may have to go for a little while without talking to someone. But if they truly love you, they will see that, you're just sticking up for yourself and you're setting a boundary. People who don't have healthy boundaries don't like it when other people do. So don't let others get to you. Don't let anyone else crush your dreams, dampen your spirits. You know what you want to do. You know what you need to do in your life. So just get out there and do it. Don't feel like you have to be perfect. Don't feel like you have to be compared to anyone else. If we all waited to be perfect, nobody would ever do anything. I mean, I have, people I've had on my podcast before who are like, oh, I don't know if I should do this because, I don't really know what I'm doing. And I would just say to them, we're just having a conversation. It's no big deal. It's no big deal. We're just having a conversation. And afterwards they're like, oh, well, that was like a lot of fun and it wasn't too hard. I know, because we allow the fear to come in and make things so much more difficult for us. We allow it to really cause us to have these panic stories, and we create scenarios in our head that would never even happen. And it's because that fear is coming in and trying to tell us lies. The truth is, taking a risk, taking a leap, while it can be scary, it's also exciting. It's fun. And you never know what could happen until you just jump. For me, this whole starting a business, doing a podcast, although there are times when it can be very challenging, overall, it's been a very wild ride, and in a good way, a fun way. I push myself to see how much I can do, and it's incredible. Because I always surprise myself in a good way. Oh, I didn't know that, I would be able to get more than 10 followers. That's cool. Oh, well, I didn't know that I would have people booking for these sessions every week. That's cool. Oh, I didn't know I'd get a publisher for my book. That's cool. Oh, I didn't know I'd be able to publish my own set of cards. I love that. I mean, it's just, how do you know unless you just get out there and do it? You don't know. And the thing that I've always known about myself is if I wait and I wait to get everything done and for it to be perfect, it's never going to happen. because procrastination is a fear mechanism, so is perfectionism, and it is just going to cause you to not even get started. What I've learned is just to jump in with both feet without even looking back. And yeah, I've made mistakes and I've had to go back and course correct, but so what? It's not ever been anything detrimental. It's always been things that, hey, I can improve this. I can make this better. When you look at, some of your favorite talk show hosts and you look at their very first episodes, they weren't as good as their last season or whatever. You look at Oprah. Her first few seasons, they were good, but they were nothing compared to her last few. And there's a reason for that, because in life, the goal is to always to get better, to improve, to learn. And when you do better, when you know better, you do better. And so the more you're learning, you apply that, things get better in your life. So don't ever feel like when you start something, you have to be perfect, you have to know it all, you have to be the best. That is just so dumb. It really is. And I'm not calling you dumb if you think that you have to be the best. That's just an attitude, that's a condition we've been taught. We've been taught that if we're going to do something, we better do it right. That just simply isn't true. Yes, you should put your best effort forth. But maybe you don't have all the information you need. That doesn't mean that you necessarily just shouldn't do it. It just means that it's going to be a learning process for you, and you're going to be learning as you go. And there's nothing wrong with that. So again, don't beat yourself up for any mistakes you make, and don't try to compare yourself to others, because you are unique and you're here on your own unique journey, and your journey is not like anyone else's, but you are still desperately needed here, and you are adding so much value to this world, to this planet. So keep going. Keep going. You've got this. All right, guys. Well, I wanted to pull a card for you today. And the card I pulled for you is from the Teachings of Abraham deck. And it's whatever I give attention to, wanted or unwanted, I am creating. You were born with a magnificent guidance system that lets you know in every moment exactly what your vibrational content is, which is being matched by the law of attraction, as it is your desire to feel good and your patience to choose, or your practice to choose good feeling thoughts. Only good things will come to you. And it's so true. I talked about this last night on the live too. Whatever we give our attention to is what grows. So do you want to be giving your attention to things that make you feel bad? Or do you want to give attention to things that make you feel good? Because in any moment in our lives, we have a choice to choose to feel good or to choose to feel bad. We can change our thoughts in 1 second. So if a bad thought comes up, we can simply choose to acknowledge it and then let it go. And that's what I highly recommend doing. Because you deserve to only have good thoughts. And I hope that you have amazing thoughts throughout your day-to-day, and that you choose to find the blessings in life, in every situation in your life, because they are there if you choose to find them. And when we focus on that, that is what grows. The blessings grow. Well, I want to thank you so much for being with me today, and I hope that you enjoy this podcast. If you do, if you would subscribe, also share with others or leave a review, that helps others find me, and I really appreciate that. If you would like to work with me, you can go to my website. I have all new pricing now. I wasn't feeling very aligned with the prices that I had because I felt like it wasn't affordable for the average person who really wants to work with me. So if you go and check out my pricing, I have lowered my pricing. You can go there and check out the services I offer. I offer packages for things too. Go check all of that out, and you can purchase your own session. You can just email me when you're ready to book at melissaoatman77@gmail.com. You can book through me, through my email, and also I can send you an invoice, or you can pay online too. Either way is fine. Also, if you would like to purchase my deck, Divine Whispers, It is now $22. I was able to find a different distributor. So excited. So the sizing of the cards is actually a little different too. They're actually bigger than what you saw on my lives. Now the cards will not come with a tin packaging anymore. They just come shrink wrapped. But you can order those tin cans I call them tin cans. It's a tin card container on Amazon for very cheap if you want to get a container for it. But it will come shrink wrapped, but only $22, which is awesome. That includes shipping and everything, tax, shipping, everything. And should only take a couple of days for it to get to you instead of weeks. But I'm ordering them in bulk now, so if I do have to order another set, it might take a couple of weeks to get to you. But right now, it should only take a few days if you order them. So it's a great deal. I love the cards. I think they're so beautiful, and I'm so proud of them. So thank you to all of those of you who have already purchased them and who have supported me with those. I love that. So I want to thank you all again. I hope that you have such an awesome day, filled with love, light, and blessings. And I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.